The New Brunswick Property Assessment Information Search tool that the province has recently introduced to the public is a pretty significant upgrade from the service that had been provided up until this point. Under the new system, you're able to visit the Property Assessment Information Portal, which is paol.snb.ca, and you're able to search by address to find out information about properties in New Brunswick. I'm going to search for 139 to 145 Prince Edward Street, which is a property that is owned by the St. John Community Loan Fund that uh, developed this property into what's now called the Social Enterprise Hub. At the time of assessment in 2016, the property was just vacant land. So now that I've searched for it by address, you'll see this information. You've got the property account number, the location, the taxing authority, the City of St. John in this case, a brief description of the property. It was vacant land at the time of assessment, the assessment year, what the assessment was, and what the taxes due to the property were. The other things you see on the website include all these green highlighted properties. The green highlighted properties are properties that are classified as recent transactions. So if I just click on one of them, here's one that sold according to the website in 2015 for $24,000. So this is pretty useful for someone that's investigating their assessment in that they are able to look at a neighborhood and figure out what properties are selling for in that neighborhood. You'll see that if you do things like clicking around, you can find other sales that are a little older than sort of classified as recent sales. So here's another one that was from 2011. The green ones are, of course, more recent. So if you just zoom out a bit, you'll see that this is a map of St. John, and then if you zoom out more, you'll see a map of New Brunswick. But one of the interesting things I find about this system is that if you just zoom in to a place where there are residential condos, or I suppose any condos, you can also do a little bit of research about the sale of those properties. So if you just click on one of these squares, you'll see that condos have been visualized by these little squares. Obviously, these little squares don't represent the boundaries of the condo property, but they do help visualize that there are condos that have sold at this development, which is an interesting update in that other mapping from the province, such as GeoNB, uh, over here, doesn't actually have those sort of visualizations for condos. So back to the property assessment online system. This is, again, a useful tool for someone that wants to know what have properties in a particular area sold for. This is useful if you're trying to appeal a particular tax assessment, or again, if you're just a person that's interested in this topic, someone that might be purchasing property or a person trying to sell a property. Interestingly enough, this is a system where you're able to search by address, but if we go back to the main screen, we can also search by property account numbers, sometimes referred to as PANs. And when you search by PAN, you can get, similar results to when you search by address, demonstrated here. Or you can search by PID. So you can either go back to the main screen or you can search up in this left-hand corner. So I'm going to search another property by property identifier, so PID. You can do that, and you arrive over here. Again, it's an interesting tool that adds to the toolbox of an appraiser in New Brunswick, adds to the toolbox of a property investor or property owner as well. As we see as we zoom out, this is not just a St. John tool, obviously. We can go somewhere else in New Brunswick and just zoom in and find out about their property sales as well, their property assessments and property information. So if we click a parcel here where I've zoomed to randomly in another part of New Brunswick, we're going to load, and there we see the transactions in the area highlighted in green. Now, of course, some of these transactions might not be arm's length sales. Some of them could be sales from a business to a related business, or from family member to family member, or from the owner to the province, or something like that. However, again, it's a good starting point for someone who's doing a little bit of research on property values in a particular area. Hopefully you find the property assessment online tool useful. I certainly do. Thank you very much.